say it's been said before, I'll say it again. This is going to be a huge conference. IBTTA said it is the largest meeting space
Yeah.
conference center that they've ever had. So it's going to be super exciting.
Welcome to Toll Talk, the podcast dedicated to the tolling industry and helping you get up to speed as a professional, find out what the coming and goings in the industry are, and always stay on the cutting edge. So I'm Alex Ficari. I'm one of your hosts, and I also am joined here with Kaylee Jakovics, one of my fellow co-hosts. So thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Alex. And today we have the episode Ohio Turnpike and the IBTTA annual meeting and exhibition. And Lauren, thank you. We have Lauren Hakos, Training and Development Manager of Ohio Turnpike, joining us today. So, Lauren, thank you so much for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to learn a little bit about you, the Turnpike, and then, of course, you are the chief meeting organizer for annual. So we'll dive into that as well. But first, tell us about yourself. Where are you located? What's your passion? Tell us about anything you like. What do you like to do for fun, family?
Okay, yeah. Well, I have a little boy. He's not so little anymore. He's actually 2 inches taller than me, and he'll be turning 13 this summer. So he's a
Wow.
handful. But yeah, we live in Medina, which is about 45 minutes or so south of Cleveland. And I live there with my husband, Mario Checky, which many of the folks tuning in know him. He goes way back. He's been part of IBTTA for a lot longer than I have, and I've been part of it for about 24 years now. So,
Wow.
yeah, a long, long
Definitely
time.
an expert.
So, yeah, and being here at the Ohio Turnpike for that long, it's been a great experience. That's certainly one of my passions, as is family and finding the balance between the two. We just got off a lacrosse season, so that was the sport of choice this spring, and now we're heading into dirt bike season.
Oh, wow.
And
Last time
so
we
my
chatted, he
son,
was in hockey. Is he still doing hockey?
yeah, that comes in the
Holy
fall.
cow.
That's from like August through March. It's hockey.
Oh, I
So
love it.
It's funny. I don't
Never-
usually hear people talk about lacrosse outside of Maryland, so I didn't know that was a thing in Ohio. That's
it's
kind of
becoming
cool.
a thing.
Yeah.
It's really gained some traction, and it's a super exciting sport, and it's outside in warmer weather. So that's my sport. My husband gets to take the ice hockey rink.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you obviously busy family life, balancing in. You and your husband are in tolling. Just out of curiosity, transitioning from the personal note, does your son have any hopes or dreams of getting tolling? Or does he look at you like you're crazy? Like most people look at us, like we're in tolling, yay!
Right. Yeah. Transportation. What does that
Yeah.
mean? He doesn't fully understand it necessarily,
Yeah.
but he loves coming into the office. He always asks if he can come visit me at work.
Oh,
So
that's sweet.
I think that's cute.
Yeah.
And whenever we're driving down the turnpike, he's like, "Oh, that's where my mom works," or something like that. When we're headed out to Cedar Point, we pass by our office building here on the turnpike. So yeah, he knows a little bit about it. I don't know if he has aspirations to be in tolling. Maybe.
We'll see. Well, let's kind of shift into just touching on the Ohio Turnpike. Can you just kind of provide us an overview of kind of your role and responsibilities there?
Yeah, so having been here about 24 years, I was in the marketing and communications department for a number of years, and about the past 11, 12 or so, I've been in the HR department doing training and development for about 810 of our employees we're at now. All sorts of things, primarily focused on policies, procedures, a lot of safety training, things of that nature. So really compliance-based training is what we focus a lot on. Of course, safety, big initiative.
Yeah,
the Be
absolutely.
Safe Together campaign.
Yep.
So we're heavily focused on that for sure.
That's great. Now and just so, and in case everybody didn't make it out to the tech summit, that's the big campaign that I think Farzan was even, kind of promoting as well and getting that word out there. Pat
Yeah.
Jones about this new initiative. And they're really kind of pushing really hard for that right now, which is fantastic because a lot of people don't realize, and Farzan shared that, very unfortunate story, I think,
Yeah.
of a loss of a team member. And that's, it's really important to take safety as a priority. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are, championing some of that. That's a big message that needs to get out there. So that's great. Um,
Yeah.
so just as a overall, when you're talking about your training and your experience, like, what is Ohio? How do you identify the needs of the employees when you're looking at training them? And, that because you have so many different roles, you said 800 plus employees.
Right.
How are you prioritizing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that is definitely a challenge, as I'm sure any agency of really any size comes in encounters. But we do it through a number of ways. Again, with the focus on safety training, we
Mhm.
do that across the board. So to all of our employees, from toll collectors to maintenance workers to administration building employees.
Right.
But we also do some needs assessments. Of course, that's what you want to identify with our superb supervisory staff. When
Mm.
they identify needs and we do these assessments, then we're able to really hone in on specifics for the individual. But again, a lot of our training is really broad based and compliance, ethics, all of those
Mm.
types of things. So, yeah, but we do that in a number of ways. And we also do some supervisory training. So, we have a mid level manager training that we
Okay.
are in partnership with another transportation agency and soon to be the Ohio Department of Transportation. So, it's a cohort
Okay.
of supervisors, and it's done through a local community college or corporate college, as they call it.
Oh, I love that.
It's yeah, it's an awesome class. It's about 4 months long. It's a
Wow.
pretty significant um, time commitment, and the folks that participate in it have really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a great program
So
for us.
I would imagine, Lauren, that you have a lot of, there's so many different tasks and people that have, you have roadside, you have enforcement, you have administrative, you have, so many different roles that I'm sure you have taking on. I mean, what would you say of all the trainings that you provide? What are the most logistically challenging ones that give you the opportunity to succeed?
Great question.
Yeah.
That is a great question.
Thank you.
Well, we're
Thank you.
spread out over 241 miles.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of logistical challenges we have to overcome. And we did that actually by instituting a program and we rolled out laptops to all of our facilities. So we have maintenance workers that at the end of the day, when they need to complete a safety training, they have a laptop right at their facility. And most of our training, obviously which isn't done in person, and a lot of our safety training is done in person, but more of the compliance based
Mm.
and our toolbox talks, we do that and roll that out through our online learning center.
Toolbox talks. Okay, like that. Okay.
Toolbox talks.
Like
Yes, we
Toll
do
Talk,
two of
but
those. Two of those. Yeah,
that's
two of
great.
those a month.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you gathering any employee feedback and using that to your advantage to better programs and training, or how does that look?
Always. Yeah, we're always getting employee feedback. Training of any type can be challenging because we're all pressed for time. And sometimes training, where does it fall in with priorities? But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been a cultural shift over many years in terms of making it a priority. And I have the support of so many supervisors that really understand the value of it. So they've placed importance on it and that's
Okay.
trickled down. So employees definitely appreciate the additional learning opportunities.
That's great. Now, we've talked about safety, you talk about different type of training and then feedback, but there's also a lot of education that needs to go on as well in the industry. So, when
Yeah.
you think about that, also, in educating and bringing culture into things as well, so what initiatives do you have from, diversity, inclusion, all those aspects of it, because you have 800 plus people working together in the pardon me, trenches all the time. Really, they need to, just like any, community, you really are running a little city, right? Like a community that needs to live and operate and work together. So what do you guys do in that aspect of it?
There's a lot of collaboration that goes on. Our turnpike is essentially split in half. There's an eastern division and a western division, and sometimes those two are doing similar jobs, but not always the same, because weather across 241 miles isn't always the same. So the way things are done isn't always the exact same. So that's a challenge in and of itself. But we have safety meetings. We have once a year, we have a assembly of all of the maintenance supervisors, as an example, and they'll meet to discuss the maintenance practices throughout the year, changes that need to be done. So we do have the ability, and do so frequently, meet as groups, whether it's the toll operations department or the maintenance department, even our service plaza operations folks. Even though we're spread out, we make it a point to get together in person as often as we can.
That's great.
All right, I love that. And then in regards to just kind of talking about leveraging technology, or even like innovative training methods for, I don't know, training and development for your employees, is there anything that you guys are leveraging there?
Yeah, all of our employees actually have an email address. So that's starters. Even the folks that are doing the important work out on the roadway and making sure that it's safe for our customers traveling on the road, to the folks who are greeting our guests at our service plaza. Every employee has a Turnpike email address. So that's a primary way we communicate with our employees. And then we have rolled out about 2019, 20, just before COVID, actually, our online learning management system.
Nice.
So all of our training is in one location, easy to track, easy to roll out, and it came at a perfect time.
Yeah, I was just saying, you planned that well,
Just knew.
You just knew. You had that foresight.
Making it super easy for them, so that's great.
That's great.
Yep.
So when you talk about, obviously you're looking at, getting the education out there through an LMS, online learning management system. I guess, what other technologies are you looking for to engage users? Anything new on the horizon, or any new programs that you have coming up that you're like, this is going to make a big change?
There's always new things, and just like technology in general, you have to stay on top of it. My role is sort of creating, not only rolling it out and tracking it and figuring out what the needs are, but actually creating it. So if somebody hands me a piece of paper and says, we need a training on bloodborne pathogens, well, I'm putting that together. I'm doing a voiceover for it. I'm doing the nuts to bolts. So I know more about lockout, tagout, bloodborne pathogens, and trench awareness than your average person.
Wow.
So that wasn't just that wasn't a random phrase you brought out. That's something you're actually training people on.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting. The number of trainings, thousands of them, that we roll out to our employees throughout a year. Absolutely.
Wow. That's great. So,
well,
and there's something to be said too about in-person training. There's really a lot to be gathered when you're sitting in a room actually discussing. So online training has its place and is purpose and is valuable when we're spread out over 241 miles. But I'm a strong proponent of in-person training as well. Yeah. So that's the old standby. It's useful. It's good. People resonate with it.
Yeah. So you're not just somebody who has a good time at an annual event or after hour party. You're somebody who really knows a lot about the industry. So
I do.
I have to say, I'm very inspired today. I'm very inspired. I have a feeling at our next event, which I don't know, are you going to Baltimore's Rock event for IBTTA?
I won't be at Baltimore, unfortunately, but I know it's going to be an excellent time.
All right.
Yep. We will miss you.
Yeah, but you're going to go to the annual, right?
It will be at the annual meeting.
Because it's your hometown, right? It's your hometown.
I'm going to be one of 1,000 people there at least.
Yes. Well, shifting into IBTTA, since we're on that thought here. Tell us a little bit about the annual.
Yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
You are the chief meeting organizer, so we're excited to hear not just about that, but how long have you been a member about IBTTA? Give us some details there.
IBTTA, it's a family, truly, and I know
Absolutely.
you both as coming in. I don't know how long you've been part of IBTTA.
About 5 years.
5 years. Okay,
4 or 5
so
years. Yeah.
and you felt the love,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It really is a family, an extended work family. And so I've been part of it since I want to say it was about 2000, 2001. They had
Oh wow.
they had an organizational management workshop, OMW they called it. It was for more of the marketing communications
Yeah.
folks, and that was at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. It was the first IBTTA conference I went to. Somebody said, "Hey, we're looking at getting a communications committee started. Anybody volunteer?" And I must have just went, "Sure, tell me more." And that was it.
It's a blackout from that point, right?
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
Fast forward 24 years later. So yeah, that's about how long I've been involved, and it's been a wonderful experience. And we're so excited. We hosted the annual meeting once before in Cleveland in 2005. And here we are now in 2004 getting ready again. And I just have to say, it's been said before, I'll say it again, this is going to be a huge conference. IBTTA said it is the largest meeting space conference center that they've ever had. So it's going to be super exciting.
I saw that floor plan and I was like, pardon me, floored about the size of it. I mean, it really was. It's impressive. Like, I mean, I love all the venues we go to, but I'm excited to come out there. I mean, it's a big one.
To Cleveland only one time before, and I was just shocked. There was so many, the architecture there were so many things to do. It was actually, I mean, it was so clean and just a nice place to be. So I'm looking forward to going back.
I'm so glad. Yeah, it's a hidden gem. It really is. When we hosted that before, we hosted the maintenance conference, and then one other time before that, a marketing communications conference. Folks who had never been here before were very excited and came away like, "Oh wow, I had no idea Cleveland was that cool." So not only do we host the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but people really familiarize themselves with Cleveland and Cedar Point, even though that's an amazing amusement park, but a little bit outside of Cleveland. But we also have the Football Hall of Fame. So that's in Canton.
Okay.
Quite a bit south of Cleveland, but those are all in the general area. So downtown Cleveland is a vibrant city. It's right on Lake Erie, a great lake. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited to have so many people join us.
Yeah, being on the lake there, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana, so Lake Michigan is always just like makes me, any of the Great Lakes that just make me happy. So when I was there, I was just like, oh, so nice, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. So I recommend everyone
open and then there's
to go
the reception
see that
at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is going to be outstanding.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, Farzan, and if I've said to those who don't know, Farzan heads up your entire agency and
executive director. Yes,
and he was on one of our podcasts and he said hospitality is really important to him. And so I'm really curious from your standpoint, right? You have a tall order, I am sure. So, but it's probably going to be a lot of fun preparing for all of it. But what really goes into you trying to not just for yourself, but for IBTTA? Like you got a lot to organize and bring in. What's going to be your strategy at pulling it all off?
Yeah, we have been in meetings for months. Let me tell you.
Wow.
It is a lot that goes into it. And sometimes you don't understand until you're a meeting organizer or even a moderator or speaker. You just show up at the event. You're like, wow, this is fabulous. Months and months and months of planning. Fun, though, because we're excited to host, honored to host, and bring people into our city. But not only in terms of the actual content of the conference, which is a huge thing, but the social events. So we already have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We'll roll out the red carpet for that.
That's great.
We have the hotels. I do want to make a plug. Very important. Book your hotel now, either the Hilton or the Marriott, because we are a smaller city. We're not a ginormous Atlanta or Seattle. We're a smaller city. So you pack 1,000+ people in there and it's going to be a little tight.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because our whole team, all four of us, are coming out to stay at your guest house. I wasn't
Awesome.
concerned. I mean,
I already called Mario, so
Come
he
on
said
now.
it's okay.
yeah.
We have room. Come on out.
Yeah.
We may have to resort to that as the third alternative
Yeah.
place to stay if the other two hotels sell out.
Oh,
There's also, interestingly enough, I didn't plan this, but there's a Browns game on that
wow.
Sunday
Okay.
at
So
home
wow.
in the city against Baltimore.
No.
oh, I just got chills.
Wow.
Yeah, so crazy how that works out.
Oh, we
Jeez.
should
I
go
mean, and
there.
Baltimore's a
there's a
big,
lot of
big
history.
rival.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of history with, the
Yes.
Browns and then Baltimore and, coming to Ohio. That's interesting game. Wow.
So that Sunday, October 27th, is gonna be
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
know
it'll be
the I
riots
know
in the
you-
streets.
the agenda is not fully planned yet, but there's some things in the works. Are there any,
Yeah.
whether it's a particular event or session, or speakers or anything that you're looking to specifically?
Yeah, I have a whole packet right here. We had so many amazing submissions for the
Okay.
call for presentations. I want to say somewhere in the 70 number.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
we're vetting through those. Roadway safety is going to be a huge topic. Of course, we've discussed that. Also, we're going to have a track devoted to marketing, communications, legal, because that conference was held last year in Norfolk.
No, that's
And
right.
it
was
was so
great.
widely popular. They wanted to do an extension of that for the annual. And then there's the tech talks. I know those
Yeah.
are hugely popular as well. We'll have an amazing general session with some awesome speakers. And then all of the sidebar committees, the DEI task force, the Women in Tolling, Leadership Academy, Alumni Association, they're all going to be putting on amazing events throughout the conference also. So a lot packed into a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Won't want to miss it.
Yeah. Definitely won't be.
Yeah,
No, definitely will
be
not be
there.
missed. We
I'm
will be there.
definitely gonna book the hotel today because I don't want to miss
Yeah.
out on that.
No, tell your friends. Book the
Yeah.
hotel.
No, you don't say anything
You know,
yet. You take
Oh,
care.
once
well,
we
first
book
book
it.
yours,
Yeah,
then
Yeah. Oh, wow. All
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
Well, any other recommendations
Yeah.
that you have, whether about the event, restaurants to go to?
Yeah, downtown Cleveland it's going to be October. It's
Mhm.
Cleveland. It sits on a lake. So it can be 80 degrees and sunny, or it could be a little on the chillier side. So
Yeah.
it makes probably going to have to pack a few suitcases because you just don't know. But it's going to be beautiful because the fall in Ohio with the changing leaves and all of that, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Down on the lake, you can walk down any of the streets. There's lots of restaurants. One of my favorites is Johnny's downtown.
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of great spaces. I know some of the groups are looking to host at various restaurants that sit right on the water there down by. Also, there's a Great Lakes Science Center down by the Rock Hall. So
wow.
there will be not a ton of things to do. Restaurants plenty, but probably if you are looking to host an event or make a reservation, again, I hate to say it, but do it now.
Do it
because
now.
with all of these events happening,
It makes sense.
it's going to book up fast. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely looking to have obviously have a good time while we're there and learn and pick up all these things. But it sounds like it might even be a great place just to hang around for a day or two, even if even after the event. And
it will be. They have Hollow Weekends at Cedar Point, and they have a great Metro Parks, a lot of parks and trails, and it's a beautiful city. For those who've never been, you won't be disappointed, and for those who have been, that it's a hidden gem. It really is.
That's great. Well, I want to say, just as a side note, when you're talking about events like IBTTA, I'm going to blow you up a little bit, but I want to say what a great friend and colleague you've been, to really help us navigate those waters, and becoming a member of IBTTA. And, we appreciate your role in helping make these events come together and, just truly being a friend. I mean, and not only do you dance well and you get up on stage at karaoke and join in the groups, but no, you're really kind of what helps make IBTTA what it is, and it is a community. And so I just want to personally thank you, because it's intimidating, to come into, and for some people it would be a new industry, or for people who have been in the industry, but let's say they're not people, they're not social. It's great when you have people like you out there. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
I couldn't appreciate that more. That is if I have a goal, that's it, to make people feel welcome. So I greatly appreciate you saying that. If you see anybody standing there not talking to somebody, I'll be the first to pull them up on stage, or pull them over and have a conversation with them, introduce them to a bunch of people. So I think, yeah, we really do try hard to do that. I know I do, and I appreciate you saying that very much.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone knows Lauren, like, she's very welcoming. And,
Yeah.
And, thank you for putting this all together and giving us the recommendations. And, it sounds like you're a wonderful leader and bring great value to your employees as well at Ohio Turnpike. So it's really great to learn about that. And we want to thank you for being on today.
Thank you. Hey, I
information.
Can't let you go without giving a shout out to my co-CMO, because it's not just me. Wayne Reed is also CMO of this annual meeting, so he's really putting in the time and effort too. So I don't want to take all the credit. He's really helped out a great deal. So it's team effort.
That's good. We'll make sure not to cut this part out or anything.
Well, thank you, Wayne.
Put it at the beginning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It was great seeing you again, and we'll see you at annual. All right.
I hope so. Can't wait to see everybody. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.